But yeah, I'd like to, for downtime, Ataika would just be inspecting, trying to get any kind of recollection as to what any of the words mean on his shield, on the walls in his little room, on his armor, just trying to figure out any of it, because he only gets like one word or two words every once in a while.
So you kind of want to study?
Yeah, study.
Let's see. I will allow roll of either mysticism or culture.
Okay. I'm actually good at neither of those, so...
Perfect. I suck at both of those.
You suck at them equally?
I don't, haha. Alright, I have one in culture, well...
You try to remember, but your memory is just too foggy, or there's like missing pieces, like something is just taken out.
With a roll that low, I imagine I'd look at the word I previously knew, devotion, and it was like, Devotion? What?
Oh, I was gonna do some basic drills and contact the guys back. Going back and forth, basically trying to keep myself from dying of boredom, because Aiden's not used to being cooped up in a ship.
Then go ahead.
That's it.
All right, so you're contacting your boys back on Amsterdam, are you?
Yeah, to make sure everything's fine and how their jobs are going.
Are you doing anything? Because by the time that you've reached around about 4 days in, the jobs have been done.
Well, do you want me to assign new jobs?
I'm just saying, it's up to you. The thing has been reset.
Nah, for now, I want them to be available, because I'm thinking we're gonna swing by the station on the way back.
Okay, and with this other day, I'm going to give Aiden one reroll of a single d20 for the day as we're getting onto the planet.
Sweet.
Nice.
He's the one gathering information and leads on supplies and vehicles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, in case you're wondering, the drills are again gonna be on acrobatics, basically, you know, to try and stay in shape and on my toes.
Right, so you have arrived on planet. The planet of Agaton, a wasteland transformed by greed of previous corporations that used to inhabit it. Where would you like to land?
That's a good question.
We were landing in Morrow, right?
Yeah, I think we decided to land not far away from Morrow, and that would be our first place we hit.
Sounds good. I'm gonna bring her in and head towards Morrow.
Understood. As you fly down towards the chasm, your ship pings you of nearby radiation, but it's nothing to worry about from your ship. And as you lower down, you eventually settle down on where would you settle? Would you settle in a more wide open area? Would you try to get closer to Marrow, or
I'm thinking
to look like legitimate, like, business people, right? So I'd say landing like in a port in Marrow. Are there any like space ports?
There are a few landing pads, yes. Your ship is rather large, but there are spaces along the trench where you can settle your ship. Nowhere in Marrow itself.
Okay.
More like guarded areas for your ships.
I don't know. Do you guys want to like hide our ship somewhere, or do you want to look very public facing?
Considering
Prava's
the situation, I'd prefer if nobody sees the ship. I'd say we park somewhere outside the city. We're gonna have a vehicle anyway, so...
We'll only have a vehicle if we park somewhere that sells vehicles and or manage to like steal one or like
What,
Do
you're
we
afraid
have
of
to
a
take a
couple
culture
of
check here?
You're afraid of a couple of kilometers walk to the city so you can procure a vehicle? If you want, I can go and do that by myself.
I don't know anything about this planet. I don't know how safe it is for pedestrians.
Don't worry, it's fine. Sure, there's a bunch of cannibal tribes left and right. There's bombs going off left and right because of the turf wars, but it's mostly safe.
Kuzon just looking at you and slowly shaking his head no, Prava. while he's talking.
Yeah, Thiveron doesn't say anything, but he looks disapprovingly at you like you should be smarter.
Yeah, it's like, mm-mm.
I didn't tell you your futures, so you could say that.
And Kuzon is out of nowhere. You see the floor move away from you, and you look up and you see my hand grabbing you and setting you on my shoulder as we go to disembark. And you
That is a lovely image.
Oh, dude,
Just-
I'm with Kuzon. I'm full on like Superman. Like,
I mean, there's a reason why I took the scurry feat. That makes so we can occupy the same space in combat.
I'm so glad you took
So-
that.
I will allow it, since you took a feat as well to occupy the same space. I'd say that you are able to ride.
You're never gonna pronounce his name correct, are you?
Well, how are you meant to pronounce it?
Ataika.
Ataika. Ataika. There you go.
Ataika.
Ataika.
like a soft eye. Like
Yeah.
a Ataika.
Well, it's like if you're Australian and you're out on the plains and you say, "Look, a tiger," except it's a K.
Ataika.
Were you at some point wearing some kind of camouflage and somebody's like, oh, look, a tiger, and they confused you or something, the name stick?
Yeah, dude.
The last words of the confused Australian in space.
I am going to assume that you are parking several kilometers away in a hidden crag.
Yeah, we're parking in some small valley or something where we're, out of sight, a few clicks away from Maro.
Okay, so around where Marrow and the depot are, this area is rather filled with spaceship wrecks, so you can basically park your ship among the wreckage
Excellent.
quite easily. Roll me a piloting check.
On it. Just a moment. Open my sheet because I keep closing it. I want it to be neat. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move it to my second screen. Should have done that from the start. Let's see, piloting. That's good enough.
Not bad.
As you're coming down, you basically avoid all the little jutting pieces of metal and land safely in a spot you can fit the ship relatively safely.
Alright, boys, we've landed. Seems like we've got some junk around here. Kuzon, if you're kind of bored, I guess you can keep yourself entertained out there. See if you can salvage something nice for the ship. We're missing a lot of parts. I don't think I have to tell you that.
Shouldn't we be worried about other scavengers poking around while we're on the job?
I'm gonna point my thumb towards Ataika. That's why he is here, isn't he?
I mean, he's gonna be with us, though, isn't he? We need our firepower for the train.
Oh yeah, don't worry about that. When it comes to that, we're just gonna lock down the ship. Trust me, they're gonna need some time to bust into this baby, even if somebody finds it. Should be fine.
Very well.
Prava gets out and he starts to like poke around. He like looks around where we've landed.
I'll just
So-
pull out a set of car keys and hit a
Are you are you getting out of the ship, or are you looking on the external cameras?
External cameras. Just identifying any sources of danger before I disembark.
So currently what we're doing is Aiden is splitting up from the group and going to find a vehicle, and we're staying here. Or-
Well, we need to go to Mara and procure a vehicle. If somebody wants to
Yeah.
join me, I don't mind.
I don't think you should go by yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very safe.
So is there any kind of like fabric shroud that I could like put over my shoulders and back? Do you think we have any of that? Just like a shawl.
You probably set up your room with the bed that you don't need.
Okay, well I'll tear the sheet off of that, whatever it is, and throw it over. And keep in mind that you're underneath the shawl as well.
Oh, that's so cool.
Just like
Be completely and 100% honest. Kuzon does not. Kuzon just chills underneath it.
He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
wait. Does he narrow his eyes? He's like a gecko ninja.
Every once in a while, I hear him kind of like drifting off, and I'll poke him to keep him awake.
By the way, as you look on the external cameras, you see some movement out there. Looks like the basic fauna that is chittering around. Something with an exoskeleton of some kind.
Prava feels a kinship to this creature, whatever it is.
It
Alright,
does seem like it's staying away from the ship, though.
Okay, cautious. Very well, time to head to town then. Who's the ground crew and who's staying with the ship?
Thiveron walks forward and he just nods and says, "I'll go."
You wanna go for a walk? I'm fine with that. Is this your first time on Maro?
He just nods at you.
Yeah, try to keep your distance from people and cover those ears. People around here aren't used to seeing your kind, and I don't mean that in a racist way or anything. They're just probably gonna try to abduct you and sell you because you look exotic, if you know what I mean.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's not about your race, it's about your race.
I mean, they're not prejudiced about your kind. It's just that you look exotic. There's a difference.
Well, I would prefer not to stand out, if that's what you're saying.
Just say you're a cat.
Wait, so
Yes, it is
here's my
that simple.
question, Ash. Do I know, I feel like I know reasonably like the methods people would use to breach a ship and like the defenses of our ship. Like, should we have somebody staying behind to watch it, or do I think like it would probably not likely that somebody has the equipment to really get inside of our ship here?
Your ship should
Yeah.
be parked in a nice, secure area. Because you're pretty sure a very determined animal could also chew its way through the hole.
Yeah, let's be real. We didn't
Okay.
invest much in security.
Okay, so
Well, I was
Thiveron is
getting ready when I
gonna
got money to craft guns that I could mount and stuff like that.
Thiveron is gonna say just give me 10 minutes and I'll do something about these ears. And I go
Okay.
back to my room and I'm going to make a disguise check in case anybody wants to try and perceive through it in this
Okay, but
for a total of 7.
What do you do? I need
attempt
to-
take like some of the bed sheets that I think are a little unnecessary.
My
in this
bed
room,
sheets.
and I kind of cut them up. No, mine. Oh yeah, take the robots bed sheets.
You make a perfect Halloween ghost disguise. The only problem is your ears and your fucking tail are sticking out.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Like happens. Like I make this hood and cloak that kind of covers like my head, but I give no attention to my tail at all because I wasn't told to cover it.
Aiden
yeah, it's just swaying back and forth.
Aiden just stares at you for a while. He then takes out a cigar, lights it up, and says, "Yeah, I see nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's go."
Well, you're the expert, and I follow you.
I guess if we should leave somebody behind to watch the ship, then I guess me and Ataika probably makes the most sense. I
Don't
could
worry,
maybe
we'll be back soon.
find
Yeah,
some useful scrap, and obviously I can. He's my bodyguard.
Now,
We can
before
fix it.
as this is a DM, are you sure?
Sure,
Because I would say now that by forcing to split up a party in this particular way, is that one group is going to be, doing things in the town for probably a little bit,
Yeah, just come along with us. No
Yeah,
problem.
Well, the way you described it made it sound. Like we
yeah,
were
but think
leaving
of
our
it this
ship
way: we
open to
just
people
landed and
fucking
we
with it.
specifically picked an area that's supposed to be low key. Even if somebody finds the ship and wants to crack into it, it's gonna take them some time. We're going on a quick trip to grab a vehicle and we're returning back here. We're not going on an excursion for a couple of days, okay? It's fine.
I don't think we have a whole lot of valuables on the ship either.
Yeah, not really, no.
You have the ship.
The ship is pretty valuable.
I mean, like, how many like common alleyway street rats are gonna have a good piloting skill?
Dude, they want our shields, dude. We have like top of the line shields. Someone's gonna see those babies.
We'll just leave the shields on. They're never getting through that.
All they gotta do to steal the shields is they gotta go into the ship and then unplug a USB drive. And
By the way, Kuzon, since you're from this planet, you will also know that there is a certain animal that eats material on this planet. It's chitinous and runs around scurrying, very small and almost around your size.
Prava does tell you that he saw some chitinous scurrying creature. It looks like family.
I'm slowly pulling out my crossbow.
Maybe we should do a quick perimeter check before we head into town.
Well,
Yeah, that's for the best.
if you think that's gonna help, sure, we've got time. I'm gonna assume that
Okay.
since we had a couple of days to get here, Aiden has spent a little bit of time preparing his gear for the desert in case there's a sandstorm and my weapons don't get fucked up since I'm analog and shit.
Okay,
Well, you have to describe what you do. Can't just assume.
I've probably prepared some cloth that I've put on my sniper rifle's muzzle just so I can easily remove it in case I want to use it. If not, it's just constantly in there to make sure no sand can get inside. The scope has been tucked away, so I have to equip it. As for my handgun, it's safely secure in its holster, plus my knife, so they're fine.
Alright, and what about Thiveron? What were you saying before?
Thiveron, upon hearing that like there might be some creatures lurking around the ship outside, he goes and grabs his armor and puts his on and his spear, and he gets ready to go out of the ship and try to use his sense of smell and hearing to pick up on anything that might be outside the ship.
You can roll perception for that. And as you do get outside, you can feel a rather
Oh, that was
moderate
terrible.
wind. I'm going to say that this is probably a reason. You can feel a very moderate wind outside. It blows against you, it rocks you a little bit, it's that strong, and it's covering up your sense of smell, and the wind is covering up the hearing.
Yeah, Thiveron doesn't like this. Can we go back?
At the very least, the wind is cooling to you, as you can even feel the heat even from below your ship's shade.
Okay, so Thiveron is gonna call back up the ramp or whatever, an elevator or whatever we've got, and he's gonna say, "It's too windy. I need somebody else to help me out now. I can't pick up on anything."
Onward, steed.
I don't want to treat Ataika just like onward, Steve.
Ataika doesn't even care, he just walks wherever you pointed.
And Thiveron chooses to take that as a joke and shrugs his shoulders and continues to look around, search.
I'll do a perception check around, or walking around the ship, see if I can see any greasy little aliens.
If there's like a piece of wreckage or something nearby, like I'd like scurry up and try to get like an angle, like I'd hop off and just try to see what I can see.
Dang.
Can I like assist by like pointing out the direction that I saw the creature move in after I saw it on the cameras? It went that way.
Okay. Yeah, it's that way. And it's as you're crawling up the wreckage, Kuzon, you make little tings like tee. And as you're looking around, you look down and all you see is the little thing scurrying away from the wreckage that you're standing on. Just really, you also know that these things are kind of like rats, so you could probably spend a good week here clearing these things out if you want.
No.
Yeah.
They're not super confrontational. Again, they're kind of like rats.
Yeah.
So if we kill a couple, will that like put the fear in them, make them stay away from
If we leave their corpses by our ship.
Oh, you would probably have to catch them first. They're kind of avoiding you.
Yeah, from the from the side of your.
What do you think, Kuzon? Do we have to worry about these things?
Can I take a life science check?
You could
Sure,
spend
you may.
weeks trying to hunt these things out.
Doesn't
21?
sound productive.
Are you just?
I'm trying to identify and get general information. I should have specified that.
That's fine. 1 second. Let me bring up.
And I think because I'm a Xeno Seeker, if it's a rare, I doubt it's a rare species. I think I get -5 to the DC. I'll double check on that though.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up what they are. Right. The Kifak. Kifak. Sorry. They are a small type of amphipod creature, kind of a cross between a centipede and a crab. Its hard exoskeleton covers its body, and its 20 segmented legs makes it scurry along at a very fast pace. They're normally hunted to control their number, but sadly in this sort of area you picked, it doesn't seem like any locals really cut their numbers down that much.
Okay. Would I know if there is a danger to the ship or not with letting them be around?
They are well known for being able to consume pretty much anything. They basically eat objects, though, and they treat most objects kind of like they've bitten through pure metal before. While you're pretty sure that your general ship and its shields could probably easily hold off their attempts.
But I do know they're definitely going to try.
Oh yeah, they would try, but they would probably fry doing so.
Yeah. Are our
Okay,
guns like manual only, or can we set like an AI to like shoot anything that gets close to our ship?
If your cannons fired on planet, it would probably be much bigger than you were expecting.
We can get an add-on eventually for an interior gun that comes on the ramp that is controlled by a ship AI that fires at anything that gets close.
Yeah,
Eventually.
no, it's that's my plan. Is because I think I was talking to you about Ash, where like I can craft weapons and then mount them and stuff like that.
Well, there is a downtime activity to refit the ship. If you want to reassign build points during space flight, we can do that next time we're in.
Okay, I guess I'll have to consider that more depending on where we're going. But yeah, I'll remember that.
For now, let's just assume these bugs can't get through our shields, and let's head out into the desert, team.
Yeah, Thiveron says they'll be mostly harmless if we leave them. Just make sure the shields are on.
Aye, thank you for your expertise, Thiveron.
I'm going to say that it's going to take you at least a few hours to get there. I would like some constitution checks from anybody who doesn't have resistance to this place's environment.
I don't even think I can.
I don't know if I do.
How many hours?
No.
How many hours are we
Isn't
talking?
the Constitution check to be like worrying about going thirsty and stuff like that, though?
No, it's also about marching, because I assumed you're marching and not walking.
How long are we going?
Or do you want
Yeah.
it to take a day?
No, I think we would need to move. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Constitution for marching and like in slightly extreme conditions, where your armor would provide you ample protection from the environment of this planet right now.
So
It's also the fact that you are physically doing it.
So would my toughness feat come in here and give me a +4 bonus?
Let me see.
To avoiding to run damage from a force march. Yeah, it seems to specify this, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I get the +4. Okay, I'm just gonna roll and add a 4. And I need this because con's my worst stat. For saves, I mean. 15.
15.
Yeah.
I got a big old 12.
I'm just doing 11 to 12.
Prava is not in good shape. He's never walked more than like half a kilometer at a stretch.
I'm gonna say that with him the problem is the sand. He's not used to sand in his gears.
This is actually quite funny because I know so Prava's not a robot, get it right.
Oh shit, right.
But yeah, this is kind of funny because everybody got over 12, which was the DC of this check. So everybody's like barely making like walking through the desert, the sand. It just gets everywhere its course.
What about Ataika?
But the thing is, hang on.
Oh.
Let me explain. I'm getting there. And as you're all looking, you look back and it's like you're missing somebody. And then Prava's coming up the behind like, and you gain the fatigue condition as you make it tomorrow.
Oh my god, I didn't realize you rolled a 5. Holy shit. Bravo's like halfway sunk into the sand. Help me.
All you hear is like little chipmunk like.
Maybe next time when I'm doing the endurance drills in the cargo bay, you should join me.
I didn't think it'd be this bad. Oh, how are you all so?
Expect the best, prepare for the worst.
And Thiveron just turns and he says, I hate sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Of course, that reference comes up. Mind you, as you near Marrow, the sun is slowly setting on Akaton. It doesn't set all the way due to the rotation of this time of year, but it does give you a long, dark shade of night. And as you come up towards the trench, you can see the warm glow of the city of Marrow.
I'm gonna hop, and Kuzon's gonna very deliberately hide himself underneath Ataika's shell.
Okay. So what's our story here? What are we gonna identify ourselves as when we come into town?
Nope. We're just gonna get in there under the radar. We're gonna find the shadiest guy on the street, get a vehicle on the cheap side, and we're out. If we can't get it, we will take it.
I will leave every step of that to you.
Fine by me.
I'm ready to hotwire something if we have to do it. I'm down.
Yeah, I figured Kuzon would be down for that plan. I mean, he's good with tech. We should be fine either way.
Right then.
Thiveron is going to kind of devote his time while you guys are in this town to listen and smell for anybody that might approach our group, like quickly or deliberately, without hailing us first, if that makes any sense. I'm going to intentionally try to be on the lookout for pickpockets or attackers, muggers, anything like that.
Right. Gosh, now that we're actually on the ground, can I make a profession check to check out some local contacts, see if I can't get a vehicle dealer around the city, somebody that works on the cheap and doesn't ask too much questions?
Right. Let's go in order then. Let's see who's doing what. First, Aiden, you want to check for contacts and the like?
Yep. I mean, I did warn the rest of the team that ahead of time that we'll be going to this planet on a mission, so I probably have, you know, had a few days to get in touch with a few local people that might be useful.
You may roll your profession to see if you know anybody.
So that's 22.
Okay, so 22. You know that a few mercenary outfits do make their home in Marrow. After all, while it's not the most centralized of a conflict, it is a lovely business area for, you know, wheeling and dealing. There are plenty of companies here that make their own little bases. But as for vehicles, you know that there was a few vehicle dealers, but on Akaton, nothing's ever for free.
Well, we're gonna have to strike a deal then. Any of these dealers that are in my contact list, do they have connection to scrappers, or do they deal with information? Somebody that might be interested in, oh, say, I don't know, in case suddenly a train is derailed and there's a lot of scrap to pick up.
Well, more than a few dealers are into taking scrap and old mercenary vehicles off of the scrappers.
Well, I wanna go to the nearest one that might be a good fit for our needs.
Okay then. You basically go to the nearest one as you descend into the trench, going one of the many long bridges into the city. A sound of people starts to build, very different from the outside of the trench.
Right, what kind of establishment are we seeing? Like, is it literally just, you know, a field with a bunch of wrecks, or is it like a proper dealership? What's it look like?
As you get, one moment, I was just activating this. Right, as you get closer to the main city, the dealer that you've chosen to interact with is mainly on the edge, next to one of the bridges. You can see that he has a few vehicles outside, but you can probably assume, given the lift in the back, that mainly most of the vehicles are down below.
Gotcha.
Looking around, you can see what appears to be a rather rotund human. He's got large arms and muscles, however.
Hey there, friend. Are you open?
He pulls down his cap and looks up at you. Aye, I'm open. What do you need?
I'm looking for a particular ride, something that can hold 6 to 8 people, reliable, a bit on the sturdy stuff. Gonna walk into a desert with it for a couple of hours, might need it for a day or two.
You're looking for renting?
Yep.
I see. Oh, how much you got?
Well, I ain't got much cash on me, but I might have something that you might be interested in.
You can hear him sigh and adjust the overalls a bit.
I know.
Clearly hears this so often.
Aiden, I'm carrying cash.
Oh, Prava, you've been holding out on us.
I mean, I got about $750 on me. Wasn't really hiding it or nothing.
Right, so... well, I told us what we need. How much do you think it's gonna cost us for, let's say, 2 days?
2 days. I'd say... round about...
out of character, you said we're gonna have 1 day before, arrive with 1 day to spare on the planet, right? So basically, one day...
No, I didn't.
Sorry, what?
No, I didn't. I said it's about 2 weeks out, so once you get on planet, you have about, I believe I said 5 days until the train.
Okay, well, we can rent it now, but we don't have to take it now. That's fine as well.
1 second, just let me
We're not gonna need the ride for a couple days. I'm not sure if it like changes the price depending on periods of busyness or.
You probably reserve it. Let's see. How about this? We'll have for 2 days, 100 credits, plus 200 credits down payment for any damages it may suffer. You get the 200 back if you return it in good condition.
Can I take a sense motive to see if he's trying to highball us? I mean, like, that sounds affordable, but...
Yeah, go ahead.
22.
From the way his voice sounds, but you can tell each time he's talked, he's always touched his chin, but now suddenly he's stopped, like the sound of his chin scratching on a rough beard. But when he stopped talking about the down payment price, you start guessing that he may be highballing the down payment at least.
If we have time, I can spend a downtime day doing a diplomacy check to like hunt for bargains, and that might get us big savings.
I mean,
hold on. Thiveron steps forward and he says, "Do you know who this is?" And he points at Aiden, and he's like, "This is Formolio, the great daredevil. He cleared Infinite Gorge on the other side of the planet. This is an insult. This is easy marketing for you. It's a no-brainer."
Infinite Gorge? I've never heard of that before.
Can I roll storyteller? Like, I'm trying to, like...
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, he's just...
enraptured and...
You can hear him sounding like, what?
Aiden sighs and starts smoking.
A tool... Oh, sorry, ignore the second roll. I hit it twice because it didn't come up. 27.
Sorry, Miguel moved more for story. I want to see how he does this.
Okay, so I also tell him that he was the first one to pull off a triple backflip while going over a 3-mile canyon with hardly a jump at all on a motorcycle. And he's like the smile of victory that Aiden had on his face, and like his family and kids all crowding around, so happy that their father did not die. Over a canyon that's claimed hundreds of daredevil lives. And like it's really shocking and insulting that a citizen of this city has somehow not heard of the Great Formolio.
Oh, of course I've heard. I was only kidding. Of course I've heard of Great Formolio. Well, clearly he's a very trusted daredevil. Is he?
And I like just for added
I know they're like gladiators, right?
As for added effect, as he's pretending to know who I'm lying about, I just kind of like lean in and give him like a disapproving, like stare. I'm staring down at him.
Can I just point out that this guy has like 4 days to like go and like, hey, you guys heard of Formolio? No?
I'm gonna put a hand on Thiveron to kind of, at this point I guess we're committed, and to push him back a little bit. Now calm down there. Of course he doesn't know. We're trying to stay on the low key here, and there you go, just spouting out names left and right. Sorry about that, friend. I'm really trying to stay on the low key here. I don't want too many people to know I'm in town. I just... I need a break from everything, and I can't really relax if a lot of people know I'm here. I would appreciate it if you're discreet about the fact that we've come to you looking for a ride. We are planning something big in a couple of days, and do not worry, when the time comes I will make sure that people know that you've been good to us. Maybe drum up some business for you.
I see. You're like one of those gladiatorial death racers. That you keep it low key. That's why you're dressed like a Nazi. I see. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, of course. I tell you what. 80 payment. That's 40 for 2 days, and 100 just down payment for damages. We call that square on that, and. Maybe on your next race you could just mention me business, four goes.
I'll make
Put
sure
that to the side.
I'll make sure to remember that, but bringing the vehicle back here would be a bit of a pain since it's nowhere near where my ship is. Do you mind if I leave it a few miles off town and maybe you can send one of your boys to pick it up? Would that be a problem?
Ship? Oh, you mean one of those fancy travel things? Yeah.
Yep,
yeah.
one of those
When it goes to the
buses,
planet.
the good ones. But
Flying
again,
boxes.
we are trying to stay on the low key here. That's why we couldn't bring it to the city. You gotta understand, right?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Tell you what, some of the fangirls that are gonna be there. I'm gonna make sure to tell them that the friend's coming by if you wanna pick up your car yourself. And I'm gonna wink at him.
Hang on a moment. If you're doing that, I want you to attempt a bluff check.
Sure.
Because he was already sold, but Well, I'll tell you what, my things have trackers in them just in case any lowlifes try taking off of them. I could probably easily disable the security devices on the thing and just use as a tracker to come and find the vehicle. You know, you just gotta leave it somewhere pretty safe for me, somewhere at least near Mao.
Oh yeah, don't worry. We'll make sure to leave it in a good spot for you. That won't be a problem. You're a good man. Thanks a lot for your help. By the way, I don't believe we cut your name.
He points back up to the sign of Folgo.
Ah, yes. I'll make sure that everybody knows your name in a couple of weeks, Fargo, and your business, of course.
Oh, I'm so appreciative. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you before.
That's okay. Like I said, we're trying to stay on the low key. Don't feel bad about it. We'll have a couple of rounds and make sure that we treat the tavern. Everybody's gonna know your business by tonight. You're a good man. You deserve to get your comeuppance.
Oh, thank you very much. Of course, when would you require the vehicle?
I'm just gonna take out my schedule and show him the dates for when basically the train's gonna pass by. I'm gonna pick up the vehicle the night before, and on the day of the heist is basically gonna be the second day, and by the night the plan is we're gonna ditch the vehicle in the fucking junkyard, and we're just getting off with our ship and leaving his vehicle to the fucking rats.
Okay, yeah,
So I'm not getting the deposit back.
Yeah, that's the thing, because if you don't return it to him, you're not getting deposit back.
That's fine.
This is for you.
If we're not giving it back, I mean, I won't say anything, but if we're not giving it back to him anyway, we may as well just steal it. Like, what?
Well, the thing is, do you really wanna, after hitting the train, go back to the city to deliver the vehicle? That sounds like a lot of complications and a lot of things that can go wrong.
Yeah, so let's throw it in our cargo hold instead and have a sweet car in the future.
I mean, I'm not for robbing people, but if you guys wanna take it, I'm down for that. I don't mind.
I'm just saying, common sense wise, if you want to keep a low profile, I think it would be less suspicious to return the vehicle than steal the thing where your faces are suddenly on wanted posters. I'm just saying, common sense wise.
we can return it. It wouldn't be a big deal.
I mean, we'll see how the heist goes and decide then, right? Like, we might have a lot of
Depends if there's something to return.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I know to keep out players' decisions, but I'm just saying in pure common sense terms, because you guys were talking about having keep a low profile. They would of course post you everywhere, like bounty wise, if you stole something.
Oh, it would be the great Formolio wanted.
Well,
Not Aiden.
like I said,
It'd be his face.
I have no intention of stealing. I was just gonna ditch it. Like, he already agreed that he's gonna pick it up, and like I said, I didn't lie to him. I'm gonna leave it a couple of clicks away from the city in an okay area. That's safe for him, didn't say it's safe for his vehicle.
This is modern times. You could always get your deposit back another way if you send down a courier or something.
Yeah.
Hey, for now I'm looking out for the, you know, worst case scenario, so.
We have an air
I'm
robot.
talking to Prava, who's lending you the money. You poor ass bitch. Sorry, shouldn't talk to my players like that. But sorry, but so who cares? So yeah, in other words, you could probably get a courier to come down and get your money if you're worried about that.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna look around the city. Like, I know Thiveron was saying that he was like looking for pickpockets and stuff. I'm doing the opposite. Prava's just like gawking at everything.
Tourist style.
Can I do like a culture check to see if I can like identify like the main like businesses and like the main like how they make their money around here, the main industries?
Yeah, sure, you may.
Yeah.
One moment. 12. Okay, I've got some information on it. I gotta bring out the little thing for myself. Right. Essentially, the city is quite big, 3 miles vertically down and almost a mile across from the trench.
So wait, is it like a layered city? Is there like houses on top and then like another layer of houses in the middle and then like another layer on the bottom? Is it like a Coruscant tile tiered city?
It's essentially, it's what you see in the picture. It's exactly a huge trench with the city hanging on to the sides of the trench and building down.
Okay.
It used to have a class problem, but due to the boom of the whole planet getting completely drilled to fuck, it actually, the class system in the city is kind of balanced, right? And right now it's a lot of individual businesses hanging around that provides for Akaton. Their pigments are rather big. Graffitis all over the place, especially on the sides of the trench. While lower down, you've been suggested to stay away from the lower areas.
Okay.
Tunnel snakes?
But overall, social media and pigments seem to be the biggest draw of this place.
Pigments like dyes and stuff? This is like a luxury goods kind of? Okay.
Because they grow pigments.
You mean like they grow like plants or animals to grind into pigments, or like
Essentially, they grow things like moss, creatures and stuff that make good pigments, and
okay.
grind them up.
And social media, like there's a big like TikTok, there's a big like the Vine crowd here.
It's essentially, there is a rather large hardwire social dynamic in media and stuff, because there's so many little businesses. They're all interconnected with this social media type thing. So when you get on planet, if any of you have a comms unit, like a basic comms unit, which is basically a mobile phone, you're basically getting like pings, like ding ding, so and so wants to be your friend, so and so business wants to recommend you. It's something like ding 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 ding.
Okay. I don't have one of those, but if that's the case, we're here for a few days. I'm already losing money on this job. Prava's gonna like look for work as like a spokesperson for a company. He's gonna like ply his trade, and he's gonna try and like become the face of local business.
He walks into a fucking interviewer's office and goes, "Why should I hire you as my interviewer?"
So okay. Right, I need to check. What is your profession anything to do with this? Like, what was your profession before?
Professional rock sleeper?
I have a profession stat, but I never actually decided. I know it's a charisma profession. Let me just take a look at like the.
I mean, you could just make.
I was singing.
Like
I was
ambassador or like something like that.
Like, what were you on Absalom Station before this? Like, what were you doing down in the Spike?
I was like a go-between for like trade groups. Like there would be like people who would scrap, and I would like help make deals.
Middleman.
I would like, yeah, exactly. I'd like identify like key merchandise, and I would like find people and connect people that might be interested in buying it.
Okay, so I'm going to say yes, your profession does count for this thing, so you may use profession instead of,
I
walking
mean,
around.
I was just thinking what we could do, which would be fun, is I could just set up a corner side booth for a business for repairing people's broken devices, and then you could be my marketing team, and we could just like make a side business for a little bit, just me fixing people's broken junk.
Ataika is in front his advertisement. Look at me! After 5 minutes with that little lizard, I'm all better now!
Look at what he built.
Wowzers.
Yeah, all right, that
Right.
sounds good. Sure. So I'll apply my profession to like get in the social media scene and try and draw up business for my boy Kuzon.
My name's
So-
not Kuzon. My name is
He's changing his name, okay.
Nezith. That's my name.
I'm gonna go with
Nezith.
Avarp. I'm gonna go with Avarp for my name right now on this planet.
I'm gonna have to mark these down, a second.
By the way, as soon as
Right.
we're walking, Aiden's gonna put a hand on Thiveron's shoulder and go, next time you wanna improvise, can you at least give me a warning? I'd really appreciate that.
Sorry, I was just inspired.
Yeah, I kinda noticed. You go to strange places. I mean, your mind.
You don't know the half of it. You know, Formolio actually exists, just kind of outside of packed space. Keep that to yourself.
So how come you know that stuff about death-defying canyon jumps and all that? Did you make that up, or is that a real thing?
It is, but it's a sport that I don't think Akatonians would really appreciate. They tend to be more along the blood sport types of people.
Have you ever flown a bike over a canyon?
No. Don't be daft.
Considering
Right.
how you
Like
described
he's-
it, I just figured you might have an interest, I don't know.
I've seen it done a few times.
How many survivors?
Not a lot. Specifically Infinite Gorge.
I mean, it does sound kind of infinite.
Yes. They're quite a literal lot.
By the way, Kuzon and anybody else who's going to be doing it, like for instance, Prava's going to be, the face and the like, and if our general robot wants to be the mannequin of the show, he can. But otherwise, I would like you to roll your professions,
Yeah.
because this is going to represent basically the days you're going to be here, and instead of the general double your profession, I'm going to give you your check and a half, given the lack of a full week of work. We'll see how well you do, shall we?
So when you say roll my profession, where's the? Oh, sorry, am I dumb? I never did a professionally.
Am I dumb?
You have to press, if you have a profession, you have to like press the plus button beneath the piloting and add it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Well, he's just doing like the technical work, so couldn't he like roll like an engineering for his? If he's just like doing repairs and stuff.
Well, that's also what a profession generally is. That's how your work. It's not just he's fixing things. It's his demeanor, his talking to customers, and his general laying marks on the thing as well.
Yeah, but I'm the face of the business, right? He's like the greasy guy we keep in the back to fix stuff, and I'm like the one actually interacting with the customer.
That's up to you. I said to figure. I'm sorry. I didn't realize how the profession.
And when you set up a profession, you can set it up as like a charisma profession, an intelligence profession, or the other one.
So it
the
is
other
a
one.
professional. Sorry, my brain. It is a intelligence profession. I'm not sure how to set the CS. What does that mean?
That's just whether or not it's a class skill or not. If it's a class skill, you get a 3+3 in it.
Alright. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hold you. I never realized that was. I didn't realize how that worked.
If profession is a class skill for you, you click that button, and if profession
it
isn't,
is.
then
Okay. So I have like a plus. I have like a +6 to that. So we'll see what happens. Oh,
yeah.
thanks.
That's 34. One moment.
I was built for this.
Aha!
Okay. So over the few days that you're here, you constantly come back to Kuzon's little booth. Brother, what are you doing? You're like getting in the crowd, like looking all shiny. It's like, look at his piece of work while gesturing towards the robot size. Like, look
No,
at that.
I'm getting like really integrated with social media. I'm like, hey, come on down to what was your name?
Nezith.
Come on down to Nez's Tech Repair. We got these comm devices broken, no signal, no problem. Get it fixed in 5 minutes. Correct.
If I can't fix it, it ain't broke.
Uh-oh, and I like smash the shit out of a comm device. What am I gonna do now? Oh wait, time lapse fixed. Wow, I just drank a coffee in the time it took to fix this.
Amazing.
So as you're doing that, I assume since you don't have a comms unit, you're literally social mediaing just with your voice and gesturing and being charming as always. You can see people walk past like, oh, what this business is? They check for device. It's like, there's no review. But you're just so charming. They eventually come over, and during the I think it was about 4 or so days you're here, you earn around about 51 credits.
By the way, in the meantime, while they were doing that, Aiden is doing gather supplies. And that is a survival. Let's see.
What supplies are you gathering?
Basically, we're gonna need some food, shelter, stuff like that, you know, basic necessities. I'm making sure to procure those in one way or another.
Let me just check.
Do you want me to post it?
I'm reading it. Don't worry.
And since it's for a multi-day, I'm actually gonna start getting bonuses for that, so that's cool.
10. You're 4 days, so I suspect you're doing this as well.
Yep.
How much does a basic comm device cost? Can I buy one of those while I'm in town? I imagine
credits.
7 credits. I'm gonna buy one. Prava in the city learned like the value of social media and like how you can leverage it. So he's gonna buy himself a comm device to help him integrate better into.
You can take a look. You can take a look at how much it's going to cost you. Oh, and also, if you want to share those credits between the 3 of you, you can. But anyway, the basic thing is basically a mobile phone. It has like a small computer, but it can be anything. You can have it on your wrist. It could be a little eye thing that comes across. And the thing is, it can be upgraded since it counts as a level 0 computer. So if you want to buy upgrades or Kuzon wants to build upgrades for it, you can eventually just keep building on it.
So each of us got $17 for applying our trade. You said it was 7 credits for one of these?
Yep.
I'm gonna buy one of these myself.
I earned 10 credits.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get it as like a watch. It's gonna be something that I wear on my wrist.
I think I always have a comms unit with my multi-tool, but I'm just flavoring it that's part of my my exocortex. But I think I have it, like, I think it comes with my multi-tool. It's just a comm unit, or not my multi-tool. Something else I have. I gotta remember the name of it, but it's on board with the.
There you go.
I don't have to buy one.
I will link this in the chat in rules. 1 moment. There you go. That's essentially the comm unit. Cost 7
Okay.
credits.
Part of my custom rig.
Has
that's it.
80 battery power, and every hour it takes 1 battery power. Okay.
Yeah, it's much better than modern mobile phones.
I get like 3 or 4 days off of mine.
Oh wow!
If I don't use
your
internet
phone.
browsing. If I use internet browsing, it lasts like 2 hours. But all
Right, so
personal
I bought it
policy.
as well. I'm rich! Woo! I have 14 credits! The lucky number.
Remember, it also includes a calculator, flashlight,
Oh, nice.
and entertainment options, such as you get mobile games.
Does it have
That
Snake?
internet access.
Does it
Perfect.
have Snake?
Mobile gaze.
Yes.
I'm looking for
Angry Birds.
I'm looking for something that can be used as a jammer as well.
Right, everybody got it? And if you're
Yeah.
looking for jammer, then you only want a level 1, don't you?
Yeah, I think it looks like it's reusable. Is that what that means? It says usage 1 out of 10 minutes. So does that mean I can use it 10 times?
In other words, the capacity for battery power is
Oh, I see.
12. For every 10 minutes it's on, it uses 1 power, and you can always recharge it for touch.
But
So in
if
other words,
you-
what you want to
Okay.
do is use the signal jammer, but focus the jamming into like a very small area sort of deal. Because it already covers 4 miles. Wow. So yeah, 100 credits going to cost.
If I can borrow it from you, I will pay you back.
Brother, can I borrow money? And he's just
Can I
like,
borrow money?
How much do you need?
I need 100. Though I have some. How do we split it? We split it 3 ways. So we got
17
We-
each.
We made 17 each. I did the math.
yeah. So I'll give you 17. I only need 83.
And how much did I spend on the car again? Sorry.
You spent 180.
Okay.
But 100 could be coming back to you if you, like, you know.
I just wanted to update my money.
Look at you,
407
Mr.
is what I got
Moneybags.
left.
I mean, it's good that he's prepared.
Yeah. Some of us don't spend all of our money on equipment. Some of us plan for the future and our future needs.
Some
I feel
of us
like
have
I've
guns.
invested pretty intelligently in my equipment. I got I got my drill that I would need to like breach a hole and stuff like that, and other things like that.
By the way,
armor
Ash, I
and
couldn't
my-
help but notice that
ballistic.
for gathering supplies there is no DC. How's that work?
Well, I imagine it'd be modified by how well you roll, because like there's not like either you do find something or you don't, unless you roll really bad. It'd be like you do better depending on how high you roll, I assume.
It looks like I decide with DC, depending on where
maybe.
you are.
Hmm.
Well, given the flipping roll you made. Basically, you could get well enough for 4 people, basically in a hostel, and well, you could probably just have, you know, one of you stands up.
I mean, the
I think
robot
one of you
stands
doesn't
up.
sleep anyway.
The robot doesn't
I
need
don't think he
that.
sleeps.
I never sit.
I never sit down. So yes, you can spend for your jammer, and Aiden, you managed to get a place for you guys to stay during the 4 days you're going to be here. It may be a hostel, but it's somewhere.
We're on low key, so
Watch out for lice.
I can't get lice.
Neither can I.
You can get parasites.
I mean, you can definitely get parasites. Yeah.
luckily I have a grooming kit.
And the only other thing I need is a plate of steel or something that's similar to what the tracks are made of.
You mean like starship steel?
I think so. That'd be what the track is probably made out of, right?
True.
I mean, we could go look at the tracks. The tracks don't move.
Yeah.
Go check that out beforehand.
But yeah, I would like to do that. So I guess like I'd spend a day or like probably take Ataika with me. I use some of our downtime time when we're not working to scope out the track and like identify what kind of metal it is, and then just try to find enough.
So you and Akita goes over towards the tracks, right? As one day, I suspect you do this for next day while you're here.
Yeah.